Gaurang Shah, the Senior Vice President at Geojit Financial Services. Gaurang, thanks so much for joining in today. Wish you a very good afternoon. The auto sector is definitely, back in focus, and for Samvardhana Motherson specifically, the first probable quarter where we've seen decent expansion in margins as well, while on a YY basis still down. We've seen that, better performance compared to the historical last couple of quarters. Which camp do you sit in for this particular company? Because it's much disputed in that sense. How do you view this counter?
Thank you so much, Puneet, for having me on the show. Good afternoon to all the viewers of NDTV Profit and to you and the entire team. A small disclosure, because we are talking stock specific, that all recommendations that I'll be sharing with you on your show this afternoon, Puneet, are a part of our fundamental research team recommendations from a long-term point of view. Our company Geojit or myself, we do not have any kind of investment, no financial interest, no conflict of interest, but we give advice to our clients on similar lines. They might have their investment interest. So I think first of all, a plethora of opportunity, Puneet, opens up with these FTAs now being in place. Of course, with US, it is still work in progress. I think by March, we'll have a lot of clarity by end of March, as and when the deal gets done and dusted with signed, sealed, and delivered. But uncertainty clearing off is also a big positive in the stock market. So not only will your auto sector tend to gain with this FTAs, but it will also be auto components, OEM, tire and battery manufacturing companies that will tend to benefit. The fact is, and as you were speaking with the management and the management was referring to, and as the verbatim given by the management, that Europe and overseas market happens to be a big contributor to the top line and bottom line for Samvardhana Motherson. As a disclosure, we do have a positive coverage from a long-term point of view on Samvardhana Motherson. And I think the stock has managed to take off those resistance levels of 120, 125 as it trades near about 130 plus levels. Not only will the export market look robust, but domestic market also is very, very strong, given the fact that you have a host of new launches coming up, whether it is two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler or commercial vehicle, EVs, whether it is commercial or PVs. And along with that, you have a great replacement market. So my sense is that all these positivities will translate into opportunities as we go into the fourth quarter and the next financial year.
Gaurang, a couple of other results also that were in focus today. Strong set of numbers from Eicher Motors. Let me pull that up first. Almost a 6.5% reaction on a stock that's not cheap by any means, but over a 20% growth seen in revenue, EBITDA, as well as profitability, a volume-led growth. And in terms of new capacity that the company has also announced, going to almost 20 lakh units per year. Mahindra also just came out with this results just a while back, and while we discussed the results at that time, the numbers largely seem to be in line with the estimates that we were working with on both revenue as well as on profitability. EBITDA margins also largely for the automotive business has slightly, come down by 9.5% versus 9.7%. But tractors continues to be a big strong zone as well. But Gaurang, how do you view these results from Eicher Motors? Because really spectacular results in terms of margins. I think the street wasn't expecting such a big margin jump, considering what we see in the last 4 quarters. Your view on this particular counter?
So before that, just one observation: expect the unexpected from the stock market. I think that's the lesson that we have to learn, Puneet. And stock market is very good at surprising all of us, right? Having said that, I'll just take you back. Give me 30 seconds, a little bit more. I think you'll definitely remember, Puneet, a couple of years back, we had launches from Bajaj Triumph and Hero Harley. They were all 400 plus cc motorcycles that were launched in competition with what Eicher Motors is doing with respect to Royal Enfield. I think if I recollect right again, the stock before the announcement of these 2 launches was trading at 3,300 if I'm not mistaken. Because of this announcement, and that announcement came on the same day if I'm not mistaken, or maybe a day after, the stock corrected from 3,300 levels to 3,000 or sub 3,000. And the fact of the matter is that in a very short period of time, it has more than doubled. People were of the opinion that, people will stop buying Royal Enfield motorcycles, and look at the fact and the numbers month on month and the performance. So not only has Royal Enfield contributed to a great extent on the top line, bottom line, but Eicher Trucks, Eicher Buses, and their JV with Volvo has also contributed to a great extent. I think maybe, it might be richly valued now. Maybe you might have a little bit of profit booking, whatever it is. But from a long-term point of view, as a disclosure, we have a positive coverage on Eicher, as well as M&M, as well as Titan, as well as Apollo. All of them came out with a stellar set of numbers. I think even Jubilant Food delivered a decent set of numbers yesterday.